to RezoCast episode 75. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove, Triton, and our special guest from Resolute this week. We've got Wendler. How's it going, Wendler? How you doing?
Doing good. Just chilling. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad your spirits are up, given how much we make fun of you on this podcast. I hope we haven't hurt your feelings in any way. We
do make fun of him a lot.
But it's out of love, Wendler. It's out of love.
It's the live episode this time. It's roasted live.
Yes, exactly.
Live before.
We wanted to show what goes on behind the scenes live for you all to see in person. Oh, but for real, how you enjoying gaming? What are you into right now? What's been up, man?
I've been going back and forth between a lot. Mostly Fortnite per usual, but I've actually gone back. I'm starting to slowly get back into Destiny 2 PvP again.
Nice,
which
nice.
may seem weird to some, but I feel I was just outside of the game being bland. I think I was just burnt out. So taking a break for as long as I did and slowly getting back into it again kind of feels nice. But other than that, like some Siege, some Dragon Ball. So pretty big mix.
What do you think it was that got you like back into it for a little? Was it just taking a break for a little while? Because I've heard that works. That's really nice for a lot of people. Just stepping back for a little while, coming back and be like, oh yeah, I like this game. You know, is there something particular that has changed or that you've gotten into that excites you a little more?
Nothing update wise is really like. There's a lot of like nice updates. Kind of like the one tweet Goff put out where it's a lot of like sauce, but there's nothing to like put the sauce onto yet.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Because I did the same thing during Destiny 1, where right after Dark Below launched, I like played it nonstop for like a week, and then I just stopped playing for like 2 or 3 months and came back. I was just burnt out. So
yeah,
I don't really.
Yeah, I feel you. You mentioned Fortnite, and I saw somebody else was playing Fortnite recently who does not like Fortnite, and so I was really intrigued by that. How's your week been?
Don't you want to finish your story about who's been playing Fortnite?
That was my story. I was asking, like, you know, how's your week been? Because I saw you just put up a tweet, and I was like, wait, who's playing Fortnite? He's mentioned to me several times he does not care for that game.
I don't know what you're talking about. My week's been really good. I'm really excited about this episode because I have so much that I want to talk about that has nothing to do with Destiny.
Oh my god!
Which not only is exciting in its own right. I mean, nothing against Destiny. I just, I like talking to you guys about nonsense, and it made it even better when at the beginning of this episode, before we went live, Lego randomly was like, I don't know what's going on lately. He was like, every week, Hove comes up with all these things he's going to do, and he doesn't tell me about them, and then it throws me off, and I don't know what to do, and I was like, that's perfect. So I do want to talk about Fortnite, because I just started playing it like a few hours ago because Sam was playing. And
okay.
She was like, oh, come play with me. Because I asked her to play Overwatch. And she was like, I just finished. Come play Fortnite. So I was like, all right, I'm off today. Like, whatever.
Why
not? It is fun. I still prefer PUBG. I mean, they're totally different. Like, PUBG gives you that, like, really, like, heart-pounding, like, very serious vibe to it. Fortnite is fun, but it's fun because I don't care. Like, not that I don't care, but like it's just kind of like you jump around and shoot cartoony guns. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's also super easy. We just won a squad game where I had 8 kills. I quick scoped somebody earlier. Like, it's all on Twitter. Go watch. I'm not good at games. It's
So what changed between like your first impression of it and now? Because I think you hated like the building aspect of it and stuff, right?
I didn't hate it. I just did it. It wasn't my thing. Like, I didn't want to play it. And then I was not forced to play, but I was like, yeah, Sam, I'll play with you. And at the beginning, I was yelling and swearing, and I was like, this is stupid. I don't know how to do anything. And then Sam, like, made me keep playing. So I kind of, like, got used to it. And it is fun.
Yeah.
Totally different than PUBG. I still prefer PUBG. It's just, I don't know. It's silly.
Triton, have you played any of that? I can't remember if it's your thing or not. I know you're very sucked into Battlefront right now, but where are you at with gaming this week?
Gaming this week, so I had the opportunity to actually play or almost play a lot of games this week, which is kind of rare. I was mostly been playing Battlefront, but I did jump into Destiny. We tried to get the Nightfall done.
We did. We tried.
We tried to get the Nightfall done.
Two-man did. We should clarify. It's not like we couldn't get the Nightfall done if we like really tried, but I soloed half of it and then Triton jumped in and we were just like screwing around because I had been working a ton and so I had no time, but Triton just like jumped in with me at the last second. So
because you're lame, because I did the Nightfall like 5 times earlier in the week and you weren't there because you procrastinated.
Earlier in the week, as in earlier today, or what?
No, well, I guess later last week, like over the weekend, Lego, when you procrastinated, and I did a bunch of Nightfalls.
But I do have to say, actually, Lego did invite me several times this week, and so did Hove, although Hove does actually invite me quite a bit. But I almost was able to play the Overwatch placement matches yesterday. Regretfully was unable to, but did get a nice invite to do so. And then was going to play Trials with Fatebringer and Lego over the weekend, but didn't see the text until late, and then was actually out for a work happy hour, so didn't see that. But we did get to play a fair amount this weekend, Destiny-wise. I got the heroic strikes done. Always pick up the clan engrams. I tried to do a couple public events on Titan. Actually, I tried to do them earlier on today. Nobody was there, so there was nobody on Titan when I tried to do the public events, which sucks because that's actually my favorite place to do them because you just alternate back and forth between the two, the rig and whatever else the other side is. So I got to do that. Did play a fair amount of Battlefront as usual. I'm getting close to platinum the game, but I think they said there's a bug right now when you reach level 50 and you won't get that trophy. So I'm kind of like waiting. So I've actually slowed down a little bit and not finished Battlefront just because I don't want that to happen. So yeah, I guess a decent game. Gaming for me.
Nice. I want to comment on the night with Fatebringer because that was a night that we were gonna play Trials, and then we got Fatebringer finally into the party, and he was like, yeah, I'm done with Trials. I'm not gonna play that anytime soon. He had just got done trying to like help carry some people, and he was like, I hate Trials so much because he kept running against like 4-man Night Stalker teams like that were just using the gestures the entire time, and he was like, I want nothing to do with that. So I was like, we can just go play quick play. I don't care. I just want to play, so we played like quite a few games in a row. And that was really, really fun because we just demolished everyone. And then after that, I had one of my friends who is just getting into Destiny, or at least, a fair amount now. And he was complaining no one is ever on for him to play with. And he just happened to see me getting off with Fatebringer. And he was like, hey, you sent me a party invite. And I was like, I was going to get off. But, I want to play with the people who don't have community to play with right now because that's what makes the game fun. And we had so much fun. Just like, we got put with a bunch of blueberries that weren't very good, but that makes, your other teammates not as good. And it was just a lot of really fun games in a row. So I had a lot of fun with that this weekend. Also played some PUBG and tried the Nightfall with Triton. So all that was pretty fun. I have thoughts on the Nightfall scoring. I want to get to that. Wendler, did you get to play the new Nightfall at all? Did any of y'all?
I haven't yet. I was looking to do it like later tonight or tomorrow, but I was watching some videos on it more or less, which from what I've seen, everyone enjoys it. So
yeah, Hove, you said you got to play it quite a bit. What do you think of the Nightfall scoring?
I like it. I mean, it's still Nightfall scoring, so I'm still into it. I don't think it's gonna really be a super big draw on its own until like the strike specific stuff comes in, because there's still no tangible like reason to do it. I can get super excited about spanking you and Triton, which is great on the inside.
Wait.
Yes, physically.
I don't feel comfortable about this.
Physically.
Well, Triton,
that's all I have to say. I'm gonna
wait. Okay, I'll cut you off anyway because the rewards for for Nightfall. Triton was talking to me earlier about how he's really into getting the emblems right now, right? Like you were saying, that's actually a draw to do it for you. You said.
Well, I just read the TWAB and I saw that like, oh yeah, here's the thresholds to get, various emblems. So the fact that we were playing, I was like, yeah, I kind of do want that emblem. I guess I've been wearing the ones that I've had for a while. So, I mean, it's nice to have that as a reward. I did say that that's not like a big driver per se. In fact, that me and you were playing together was probably what mattered more. But it is something to go for. until we got to that point where you got capped, and I guess because you had soloed most of it and then I jumped in, like we had already hit that kind of time threshold where you couldn't get any more score and you could only lose score, and we were not over 20,000 at that point.
Nope.
So I realized we weren't gonna get it, and then we also didn't get it done anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered at that point. But it was interesting. I thought the scoring, I think when you're inactive or not killing something, I think was a little bit too punitive, especially for that one part we were on the sparrows, because like you probably shouldn't get off your sparrow. And we probably lost, I don't know, at least 500 points going through that point at that point, because it was like 6 per half second, it seemed like. So I didn't really love that element of it. But overall, it is something to shoot for. Like, they took out the timer, but with that in it, it's kind of like a soft timer anyways. I don't know if I understand the purpose of that. But overall, I thought it was neat. It's different, and it was at least worth trying.
A counterpoint to that, I mean, I think the purpose of it is, like, people can still get the Nightfall done and get the rewards. They just won't get the emblem. But, you know, if someone wants to solo it and just get the rewards, it's possible for you to do that, which is cool. So I think overall it's a good change, because you still have some sort of incentive to do it faster, but it's not going to like crush you if you die or you know, if you don't stop getting points, basically.
Well, yeah, and I mean, without that, doesn't it kind of, in a way, almost put like a hard cap on the points you can get if there's no timer? Because then if you kill every single thing with whatever bonus, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you could take however long you want without that timer running down and taking your points away.
Yeah.
And then there's just like, this is the score. This is the top score. And there's no way. Do you get what I'm saying? Without it, you could take 2 hours, kill every single thing slowly just to say you got like the highest score.
Well, did you see the exploit that's going around?
Yes, I did see that, where they're going into a lost sector, right?
Yeah, the lost sector farm to like break the score total.
I did see that. I didn't watch any like videos of people doing it, but I heard about it because of the high score that was posted on VNet. That was like 200,000 or something. Because I saw, like, not Dado, but dang it, I can't think of who. I saw a lot of people on Twitter, not just one person, but a lot of people looking to try to break that 100,000 score. And then to see a post that went up like, oh yeah, highest person was 200,000. I was like, what is going on? And so that makes sense that there is some sort of exploit going on.
Real quick, going back, I did want to talk about, I do like the emblems, and I do like the way that kind of works, where it's kind of like all of the emblems inside the one emblem as you unlock them. You know, that on its own. But I have a question. Do you think, and there's no way to know this, but so we now have the emblem, which kind of in its own becomes, 7? Are there like 7 possible things?
I can't remember.
Well, whatever.
So
We'll just,
there's the base and then 6. So yeah, about 7.
Yeah. So you have 7 different emblems. I mean, as far as just looks, right? Inside like one emblem. Yeah. We also talked a few weeks ago about the armor ornaments giving you like multiple sets of armor without taking up more slots. Do you think those? Do you think those are? Obviously, they were probably like, "Oh, this is a good idea." But do you think it's part of their like conscious plan to help with vault space, or do you think it just kind of like worked out?
Well, emblems are stored anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You've got a kiosk for. But
I'm just saying the move towards this type of thing.
Like if ornaments would be stored the same way? Is that what you're asking?
No, he's saying, like, do you think that they're just trying to unify the system to where everything is kind of like this, where you don't have as many items, but you have different versions of the item, right?
No, I'm saying, do you think they're doing that specifically like, oh, hey, you know what? This will really help with vault space.
I think so.
Do you mean like
because why would they add 7 emblems within one when they know people were complaining about space as is? You know, if that makes sense. Like pretty much what Hope's saying.
Trey, what were you saying?
And you don't mean that in lieu of creating more vault space. You just mean not to take up the current capacity until they get there.
Yeah, I mean, as part of like, hey, you know what? This is part of like this will help with vault. No matter what else we do, whether it's add slots, whatever. I mean, that would help with vault space no matter what. And like obviously it does. I was just wondering if you think, that's by design. Like, hey, let's do this because it will help with vault space.
I think so. I mean, it works out that way, but I also think that, they keep that in mind. I think when you put out a roadmap like they did and they've talked about the things that they're going to change, I think it would be to their benefit to kind of look through how, the first things work downstream and vice versa. So if you think vault space is coming, I think it makes sense for them to do things that are indicative of helping that maybe until we get there. So I would say that it's probably something they considered, and it's a nice feature.
Yeah.
I mean, that in and of
because
itself.
there's already an emblem kiosk.
Well, that's
But
why I was saying more with
it could be
with
them
armor.
gauging, like, if we do ornaments like season 2, season 3, season whatever, that would be a nice way to keep things different without killing people's space for at least for now. So
But-
yeah.
To Hove's point, like synchronizing the system, so getting everything to kind of look like that and fall in line. I think that's a nice touch to do across the board if you can do it.
And
so, I understand the
yeah.
kiosk is there, but
And I don't even think that it was like maybe it wasn't intentional at first, but after they saw how it affected the system, maybe now they're like, oh, hey, well, let's do this for everything, So I really love that. I hope they keep it up, and it seems like they're taking it and running even further with it with what we've seen from the emblem. So I'm all for it. I wonder if we'd ever see something like that for weapons and what that would even look like, but I kind of doubt it. But I like the system for armor a whole lot.
Did you guys get to mess around with the score, the Nightfall challenge card thing with Prestige?
No, I didn't.
No.
I did that too.
Tell me about it. What do you think?
Maybe I don't want to.
Well, tell the listeners about it.
Okay, that's fair. No, I mean, it's pretty basic, but I do like it. It has, and one thing to keep in mind, they did go over it in the update, but if you messed with it before, didn't read the update on the update.
Well, there was a Nightfall scoring update, right? Like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Whatever the fire team leader has set on their card is what supersedes everything else. That's what you play with. Which was it isn't clear right off the bat because you can still change the stuff on your card. It doesn't lock your card. So you when we were first doing it, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go Arc and you go Soul, and it we kind of thought that seemed odd, but there was nothing telling you it didn't do it that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do, they call them singes this time. So you can do, any of the 3 elements, which is cool. And it's the same, it works the same way as burns. The enemy's incoming damage is also affected, not just your weapons.
So you're saying that people can have their own individual ones?
No, you can't. That's what I'm saying.
You can't.
It makes it seem like you can.
Yeah, because
I
say it's me, you, and Triton, and you're the fire team leader, and you set it to
whoever the leader
you
is.
set it to Arc Singe.
Yeah.
It'll still let me change mine around and show me that I have Solar Singe.
It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
And then there's the multiplier thing, which is cool. It's a pretty base. I didn't realize this is what it was, but all it does is knock your light down. So you can go from 0 to 40. So if you're 335 and you put it on a 40 handicap, it literally tells you then that your light is 295. It'll show you that every piece of gear is 335, but your total light next to your character will say 295.
Interesting.
So you kind of have a feel for how you're going in, and then it's kind of a sliding scale type of thing. The higher you turn up your handicap, the higher your score multiplier goes up, and I think it goes to 3.65 if you put it on 40.
So what did you do, and did you enjoy it? Was it fun?
I mean, it was fun because we just kept getting fucked up because we were like, let's turn it all the way up to 40, and it was hard as fuck.
It was Ho's version of taking, we're all riding in a truck in PUBG and the zone's coming in, the zone passes us, and Hove's like, well, I'm just going to stop right here. We're dying in the zone, and Hove jumps out of the truck and we're like, what are you doing? We're all dying here. People are shooting us, and he goes and grabs a bike. He's like, I'm going to go do backflips. It's the equivalent of that. He's like, I'm just going to screw us all up, turn it down 40.
I wasn't even the fire team leader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're off the hook.
You're right.
You're off the hook. But not for
Anyway,
the PUBG thing. You're still on the hook.
The
for
coolest, I would never do that in PUBG.
No.
So the one thing that's really cool about it is almost it's customizing the whole experience to the type of player you are. Because one of the things that, we've said we've missed, and a lot of people have, but maybe some people haven't, was how hard the Nightfalls were in early D1. And they had the Nightfall modifier, which when you died in a darkness zone, you went back to orbit, right?
Yeah.
That is available on the challenge card. It's so you go back to orbit. And the thing I really like is it kind of lets anybody get to exactly that difficulty that they want, right? Say it's a really hard Nightfall. Don't put on any handicap, and maybe it'll be just as hard as a D1 Nightfall for you. Or maybe you turn it to 10, maybe you turn it to 20, whatever, and make it as hard as you want because you know...
the one thing...
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just fucking with you guys.
No, what is it?
No, it was just... I was just going to ask a clarification since you did it. If I read it right, it said the Prestige card automatically has the boot to orbit active.
Yeah.
Whereas the normal one doesn't, right? You can choose if you want that or not.
Well, the challenge card, I believe, is only for the Prestige.
Yeah, it's only Prestige because me and
okay.
Triton did the normal Nightfall, and it's just like base. Like, it has no modifiers. No modifiers. Yeah. Right now, they said they might add it to it week by week, but they just wanted to see how the scoring worked for now, so that's why it's all base.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's really nice because, like I said, you can turn it up as all the way to 40, which was really hard. I can't imagine anybody still breezing through that. I mean, maybe able to do it, but so it kind of gives you the ability to put yourself into like a D1 Nightfall. Like you have to hide behind stuff, pop out, actually like be strategic, you know?
Do that thing.
Do the thing.
Well, that's awesome. I'm really excited to try it out. I know I've only gotten to play a little bit of the PvE stuff, so I'm excited to do that some more for sure. Before we move on to the 12, there was just one like little tidbit of something that I want to throw out there. Aside from New Monarchy winning again, which I mean, I feel like the only thing that could get another faction to win the faction rally is if someone came out with just a freaking awesome shader, right? Like, isn't that what it's all about, basically?
At this point.
Not if the weapons were more diverse.
The weapons have to improve.
Or that.
Like, I honestly don't think the New Monarchy weapon was that good in comparison to the other. They're just...
I don't think you're that good.
Well, because a lot of people are hyped about it because I think it has, like, Rampage on it, but that heavy archetype is just so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what they would do outside of more interesting weapons, but that's like a common theme throughout the whole game right now.
Yeah. Wendler, did you get any of the new faction rally weapons the past week? Because I don't think I got any.
I got the New Monarchy auto rifle, which is like the Hake auto rifle from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Like the heavier.
Yeah, I got that one too.
It feels good, but you get hit with something with high cal, it's got low stability, so you stagger all over the place.
Yeah.
What else did I get?
I heard the Dead Orbit auto rifle was really fun, but I don't have any
Dead Orbit, but I heard it was really good too.
Yeah, which made me disappointed because this is the one faction rally I haven't run Dead Orbit on something. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna strictly do New Monarchy for my Hunter because the ornaments look so awesome. And then I ran out of time and didn't get to do any Dead Orbit stuff.
Also, because Dead Orbit is lame.
Well,
it's just like the New Monarchy shaders are just so good in comparison to the other two. Like, cause like not that the new Future Warcult one is bad, but it's like you have like a plain like pearlescent kind of color with a blue. The Dead Orbit is like a black and white camo. Pearlescent.
I am so proud of you right now. That's such a big boy word.
But, and then you see New Monarchy, and all three of them on any gun just look so good. So I don't know if they fix the shaders for the other two and make them stand out more, but I don't know if you can do that with their colors. Like, it's just...
Well, funnily enough, I saw somebody tweet out the other day. They were like, Future Warcult just needs a rebrand. Like, they just need...
I think we said that like a week or two ago.
Because it's like, they just need some help, y'all.
Like, if they would switch Dead Orbit and just make theirs like flat black with like a metallic white, so that the white really shines, and then Future Warcult, whatever colors they decide to rebrand them with. Because, like, the thing with New Monarchy is, like, the gold or the, like, white silver, like, glows on the weapons almost.
Yeah, it's all shiny.
And it works really well. And then you see the Future Warcult in the Dead Orbit shaders, and it's just real flat. And
well, most of the Destiny...
Wait, real quick. If you're listening to this, roll back about 10 seconds and listen to Yago yip again.
I mean, what?
You were like, you got excited about something Wendler said. You went, yeah. Yeah. I know Triton heard it.
Yeah, we both heard it.
Oh my
Future
god.
Warcall just sucks. Like I don't know.
You
They're like
bite
the
your tongue.
Aeropostale of the world of factions, in my opinion. Like it's terrible. Their
Well,
stuff's
here's
terrible.
the deal. I feel like majority of the Destiny community is like Hove in that they see a shiny thing and they're like, I
Well,
want the shiny thing. And
the trial shaders
We
need a
have-
rebrand too.
New Monarchy's the only one with shiny things.
We have
The trial shaders
we
need.
have Wendler on the podcast, and you picked me as the one who goes after shiny things.
I mean, yes.
I mean, you're not wrong, but come on.
Well, it's like when I was going through shaders like yesterday or the day before, like the trial shaders are really bland too. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing outside of just white. Like how would that be like feel special? I mean, Iron Banner looks good because that's how the look has been. But from trials going from like black and yellow,
Black
to
and
blue and
black
yellow.
black and
and
yellow.
then now they're like a white and like a really light like teal. In the shaders, it just seems really odd. So
Dude, I need everything to get a rebrand. I'm with Wendler. I
I
want
need
some
Glowhoo.
all black, like blackout shader for trials. That would be sick.
I want Glowhoo back.
like I get the look they're trying to go with the 9, but if they could like flip the color scheme at least, so you
Yeah.
see more of the teal and have the white be a complement or something along those lines, like it's just
I was immediately turned off by trials actually because when you first load in that very first map that they like show, it's a cool color scheme instead of when they first introduced trials in D1 it was Burning Shrine and it was all warm and like golden, and this is the
Yeah.
opposite. Like the trials shader actually has like a kind of bluish tint to the white when it
Yeah.
shines, and it's like, oh no, I want the opposite of
yeah,
that.
just blue with the white, like just magnify the blue, like the complement colors, like the bland,
Or just get rid of it.
yeah, covers too. Because like
Yeah.
the mysteriousness of the 9 is really cool, and I
I
find
do
that
like
to be
that.
awesome. But just the colors need help.
Yeah. I bet they're saving like a blackout shader for towards the end game, because that's kind of what they did with D1. I feel like it's like because everybody wants, everybody would love to have that. But
What would be crazy is if they did some type of customizable color palette where you could pick, like,
We
you have
can't
a
even
shader,
pick
but
beards on our characters. Don't even. This is
The color scheme at the character creator is pretty limited. I'm with Wendler, but based on what
Yeah,
we
no,
have in terms of that,
that's
it's-
a distant
okay,
hope.
serious question: would that bring
Yes.
back people
No.
to D2?
No. No. Here's the one either. No.
no,
You could
because I
now
think it'd be
have
discouraging.
beards.
You're like, beards. I don't know, but if you could
That's what I'm
customize your
saying.
colors, people would pick a lot of things and be like, "This is gonna be great," and it would suck. I'd be like, "I'm done with this."
No.
in this game.
If you could have, they're like, we redid the character customization panel, and now you have all of these options. We added a barbershop to
Let-
the tower.
Let me
like,
be clear, though.
would they bring people back?
Even as I make fun of that and say like they're definitely not going to do something like that because you can't even customize your character. Let me also be clear that I don't give a shit. Like I don't care about my
Yeah.
character.
I don't really either. I just think
So
I don't
no,
know.
I don't think it'd bring anybody back.
No.
I do have something that I wanted to bring up quickly. This is mostly for
scared.
Triton. I just want to.
So
I didn't
scared.
get to say this earlier because, when Triton or when Lego first asked me how my week was, and I told him I had a lot to say, he quickly cut me off after my first topic.
This is on purpose.
Yeah, no, I know. I just want to point out that I believe since the last time we had Wendler on Triton, he has been to Pittsburgh twice. And
Really?
yeah, he has been here twice. Once was last week. And
What was the other time?
he didn't the time I was at you were also at the casino and I was at the titty bar and I tried to get you to come.
Oh,
Oh,
my gosh.
I was trying to win money.
Yeah, and I was losing money. But I just want to point out that Wendler has been in our fine city 2 times, and I haven't seen him.
I didn't even know he was in the
I know,
city
exactly.
at all. So I got
It was
no
really important business. deal
no
there.
notification whatsoever.
No,
It was a real important business trip
to
Sounds
the
like it.
casino.
where I got PC funds from the casino. How many times have you heard that story?
I have not ever.
Wendler, I'm disappointed in
And
you.
the other thing I want to point out that Lego this bodes well for you and badly for me.
Hmm.
You know how I said at the beginning I had a lot I wanted to talk about that had nothing to do with Destiny? I forgot what it was.
Yes.
Because right before the podcast, I had this whole speech planned about how I was so glad that Lego lets me talk about things that don't matter because I have a lot, and then I forgot what they all were.
I'm so proud of myself right now for like cutting you off, making you forget all this stuff. This is great.
I mean, one was Fortnite, one was Wendler, but there was at least two more. And I don't remember what they were.
Well, I got one more Destiny thing to throw out, and it has to do with you mentioning Fortnite earlier and how it's just a chill game. And I don't want to hag on the topic too much, but I just wanted to bring it up one more time because I was talking with somebody about it this week. I think it was Triton actually. He called me earlier. Nope,
I remember one.
You can tell me later. But me and Triton, we both had a drive to make, and he gave me a call, and I was like, "Oh, I'm driving too. Let's talk." And we were talking about Destiny and how like you don't have that super. I can't even look at the screen right now. Hope is trying to distract me with my own face in the screen. What is happening? We were talking about how there's not that intense trials experience that you used to have. Like nowadays, I feel like even in trials, it's like there's not that. Not just hero moments, but just that tense feeling of like, oh man, we got to win this 4v4. Like it just happened all the time in D1. And I don't feel like those kind of games happen as much in D2. Like it feels like in this weird middle ground between chill and tense. And when people want chill, I feel like they just go to Fortnite. And when people want tense, it's just like, well, PUBG feels that tense. Like I get that feeling way more from that. And I used to get it in Trials in D1, and I don't know what it is that is lacking in D2. I can only speak from the way that I feel about it. And I definitely feel like those tense moments are kind of lacking. Like if I end up in a 1v4 and I don't have power ammo in D2, it's like, well, I'm screwed. Like there's zero chance of me winning this. But if I was in a 1v3 in D1, it's like, I could possibly do this. This is a chance. Even if these people are better than me, there's still that slim chance. And I get that in PUBG too, because I'm not that good in that game, but I still get chicken dinners every once in a while. And so I just want to throw it out there that like, I feel like we're in this weird between chill and tense game in D2, and it's not quite one way or the other in any particular game mode. Is the way I feel about it. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like that is just my little analysis of like, why so many people are going to Fortnite or PUBG and the differences between those games. Even I feel like I went on a Triton rant just now, like about something that was just in my mind, and I was just like went with it. You know?
It was definitely it must have been very similar to a Triton rant because I didn't listen to any of it, so it had had a very similar effect on me.
Thank you guys. I'm leaving the podcast now. Everyone have a good night.
Well, it's like I think Destiny, it's either one side or it's the other side of the spectrum. There's no in between. I think is the issue, and whether you want to relate that to time to kill or the way the weapon system is, because it's like earlier I was playing like quick play with TV earlier in the week, and we would either just T-Von, and we would either kill a team or we would just run into straight aggravation because of how the game operates.
Exactly.
There's no in between. It's not like, oh, this is a close match. Like I'm enjoying this close match. This is a close match, and I'm getting Gemini gestured through a wall with like a 30-meter radius, and it's irritating, which is kind of weird. And I think that's kind of what you're describing, because that's how I feel. Like there's games where I'll play solo, and I'm like, I really enjoy this. And then there's another game, like 2 games down the line, and I'm like, I am super irritated, and it's not even like a fun irritated because it's challenging. It's just how the game state is.
It's weird too, but because we complain about there not being a huge skill gap a lot of times, but yet we hit this extreme skill gap at some point. I don't even know. It may be like teamwork skill gap or something. I don't know. Where if you're playing against 4 really good players, it's like there's no chance. Like there's 4 people that are using the best tactic in the game, that are playing to just destroy, you're gonna get destroyed. I don't know, but I'm definitely with you in that aggravating kind of feeling.
I mean, and you're describing it as aggravating. I don't remember describing trials in Destiny 1 too often as frustrating, irritating, or aggravating. Sometimes it would be challenging, but like you kind of mentioned a little bit too, like you have the opportunity to kind of shine in Destiny 1, because we had just regular special ammo and you could do some things. In Destiny 2, it's aggravating because, and you just mentioned a little bit ago, sometimes the team fire is just like, well, this isn't how I even want to play to begin with. And then there's 4 people that are pretty good individually. Then they're all doing this. It just, there's a level of frustration. I mean, it just, there isn't like this is just chill, as Wendler said. I don't remember Destiny 1 ever being like, I mean, there's times I didn't want to play Trials, but not because like people were playing like a scummy way per se. That didn't deter me nearly as much as it does in Destiny 2.
Well,
And
it's like,
there were people too that, sorry, Wendler, just 1 second. There were games too where even if I win against, the best of the best, like I was like playing Crafty or something like that, it would be like, I still think I have a chance just because stuff would happen in that. Like you would just randomly get really lucky with the shot or with a nade or whatever. And I just don't feel like, for whatever reason, the odds work like that in D2.
Well, it's like, I don't even mind the team shot aspect. I kind of, I semi disagreed with what Triton said, where there wasn't ever a point in D1 where I felt irritated. The end of year 3, where everyone was just running sticky grenade Sunsinger, irritated me, and I think it's almost to the same as I get irritated with Night Stalkers right now. And then there was like some other minor points throughout the game's life, like when solar grenades just for that one period around taking King were just stupid. And nothing else in the game was, so you would just see people rezzing throwing solar grenades. Like there was always that one meta, and I think everything related to Trials always relates to you guys got to limit subclass amounts. If they go through that, I think you would see a lot less of an aggravating situation, like whether it's 1 subclass limitation or 2 max, like 2 Night Stalkers max. I mean, some still may get irritated at that with how the gestures complement Invis right now, at least on console. But if there was a way they could limit your subclass when you go in, you would see a lot less of this, I guess, irritation aspect. I mean, even in D1, a lot of people that played Trials regularly all felt the same way, like limit 1 subclass per character and you kind of get rid of that. All right, here's lightning nades. All right, here's fusion grades. All right, here's this, and it would kind of help clean it up a little bit. But
I don't know if we're ever gonna see that though, because I mean, over the years, Destiny's been very like. First of all, I don't know if that is like, I don't like thinking about it. I'm not sure if that really is like the core of the frustration, but also on top of that, Destiny and Bungie in general have always been very like, your character is you, and if you're a Titan, you're a Titan. They're never going to make you change just to fit a PvP scenario.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree with part of what you said, Wenny, and I agree with the second half. The first part, like when you were saying that there were times where things were irritating in Trials, as opposed to what Triton said, I don't think that was quite Triton's point. I think he was just saying like overall, like you never said like Trials is aggravating. Like he was saying, like, there's never a time he said like Trials was aggravating. Things in it were stupid, this and that. But like right now, like Trials as a game mode, for whatever reason it may be, doesn't matter, is just kind of like, like it's aggravating. Like when did Fatebringer ever not want to play Trials?
Right. I was about to say.
Yeah.
That is very telling.
The part I do agree with, and I was thinking of this earlier in the week, because I saw somebody complaining about 4 Night Stalkers, and then I saw somebody complaining about 4 something else. I agree with you too, Lego. I don't think you'll ever see them limit it in the way that Wendler was saying. But it's funny to me when people complain about, 4 of something and say, oh, it's because it's, so-and-so so strong. When there's 4 of them, it's terrible, it's blah, blah, blah. That may be true, but I think by just like the nature of this game, D1 or D2, if you take 4 or in D1, 3 of the same strong ability and run everybody with it, it's always going to be a problem. It doesn't matter if it's broken, not working correctly, how strong it is. If you take 3 of the better things in the game subclass wise and run 3 of them against anything else, you're going to run into that. I mean, they just multiply each other. So
Yeah.
remember how bad 3 self-res with Firebolts used to be?
Yeah, 3 Firebolts, 3 Jug Titans, 3 Stormcallers at the end of D1's life. You know, it all.
Yeah, I mean, they just,
kind of.
exponentially increase the frustration of one thing. Like, it may be really strong and counterable with 1, but with 3 of them, whatever that counter may be, you may not have it available at all times because there's 3 of them,
Right.
3 thorns. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think by nature that's going to happen. No, I'm not saying that something like Night Stalkers aren't stupid. I'm not going to even
Oh yeah, but
get on that.
You could take, like you said, 4 really any class, and you can make imagine 4 arc bolts coming at you all
Exactly.
at the same time. It's not.
And that's,
it's not
again,
gonna be a fun experience.
even if those grenades are shitty and only do 50 damage, if somebody
it's
throws
4.
4 of them, you're still dead.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which, whether they think to look at that, or whether if PvP gets boosted again, and rules look at that, that's all talking way distant future at this point. But
I know Lego wants to get to the TWAB here, but I do have to ask Wendler, because we've been talking about frustration a little bit. Is Trials more frustrating for you right now, or was that last second Virginia shot more frustrating, as it probably kept Louisville very much on the maybe last 4 in, but it could very well have taken them off the bubble. So which is it, Wendler?
I hate college basketball with a passion right now.
Love college
Talk about it.
basketball.
Anyone is following the FBI scandal, man. It's just
Listen, Wendler,
it's whatever.
I'm on the same boat, so I'm not going to be happy about it. But don't let Triton in any way shame you about college basketball, because both of us live in Pittsburgh, and Pitt is currently 0-18 in ACC
Pitt is
play.
0-20.
Oh my
The
gosh.
kicker. A little side note, just to be quick. So Pitt's basketball coach, this is hilarious, was cited earlier in the year when they played Louisville by responding to some fan heckler saying at least we didn't pay our kids $100K, talking about the one individual player. And then him himself was cited on the FBI report paying a player at, I can't remember if it was Pittsburgh or a different school he was at before.
Vanderbilt, I think.
Yeah, and so I was like, ha! How does that 100K feel now, bud?
I mean, as the coach of Pitt, he still didn't pay.
Yeah, he's still owing
so.
500. It's fine.
My gosh. Well,
anyways.
to counter everything I just said about, Trials not being fun, I have had, because I don't go to Fortnite for chill, for me personally, not yet anyway. We'll see. But Destiny, just normal PvP, like I said earlier, those games of Fatebringer, just normal quick play, and games with people that are new to the game, I have been still having a lot of fun. And I forget sometimes, maybe it has to do with what Wendler was saying and taking a break. But whenever I leave and go play another game and come back and play Destiny, just the gunplay and everything is always super refreshing. And while it may not be as crisp as, in some ways as D1, it still feels really good. And I feel more comfortable playing a Titan than any other game. So it feels awesome.
Can I tell you something about Fortnite?
Yes.
Okay.
What if I said no? You would tell me anyway. So
no, I would, but I'm trying to be respectful.
Oh, thank you.
So let me just tell, this kind of sums up why it's stress-free and fun to me. Very first game I played with Sam. Are you familiar with what a boogie bomb is? So there's grenades in Fortnite that you throw, and if it explodes next to someone, instead of doing damage, it just makes them emote. They just dance, and they can't shoot you or anything, okay? So I assumed, every game I've ever, with actual grenades, not talking firebolts and weird stuff like that. You throw a grenade, it has a timer or whatever. You can kind of throw it at your feet, and so it bounces away. So
God.
I'm in this room, just landed, first house, and there's a guy about to come in my door, and I don't have a gun. So I'm like, oh, I have this thing.
I'm going to bounce it off the floor,
I'm
right?
going to bounce it in front of me so it'll just go out the door, and I'll stand behind the door and then go out and get him. So I just throw this thing at my feet, and it's a boogie bomb, and I just start dancing in this room with no guns. And the guy just comes in and shoots me, and I was like, all right.
Okay.
So I mean, it was funny because Sam's, Sam, she's like, oh my God, did you just boogie bomb yourself? And I'm like, I didn't know. I thought it was going to bounce away.
And that's when she convinced you to keep playing, because you were like, I'm done with this.
I kind of wish you would have found an impulse nade first, because those are funny too.
Because they like
Yeah.
bounce you off stuff,
Yeah,
right?
it's like an explosive like outward radius, so you throw it at your feet and you would have bounced backwards.
gonna
and
say
you'd have been
it's-
so confused.
I was gonna say it's like Farah's thing, but
Yeah,
Lego
yeah,
doesn't
like
play that either.
Well,
No.
this is actually a good transition into the 12 because all those crazy things that they have in Fortnite. Like I know Destiny is a pretty like serious universe, but sometimes I want some of that just variety into it, and we're getting a little bit of variety in PvP soon. They're going to have a rotating playlist that's going to be in the center of everything. And while it's not quite as crazy, as some of the stuff in Fortnite, it is nice to have some variety. Finally, like in the Crucible right now, we've kind of had the same thing for so long. Like everybody just goes to quick play and everything kind of just feels the same. Like you even said, Supremacy, they just changed it to Clash basically is what it feels like a lot of times. So you've got, basically a lot of the same game modes, but we've got Iron Banner, 6v6, Rumble, Mayhem, and doubles they want to throw into this list later as well. They're just working on it.
It's in a chrysalis right now.
Do what?
It's in a chrysalis right now.
Yes, that is the word they use, and I need you to be proud of them, Hove.
They're smart. Do you know what a chrysalis is?
What is a chrysalis?
You don't know what a chrysalis
Wait,
is?
Lego,
it
you
like-
know
Come
what
on.
that is.
I don't know what that is. You asked. Are you not going to enlighten? Is it
no.
like a? Never mind. I'm not even going to guess.
I think. Okay.
It's like
Island.
whenever
You
a
get it from the
caterpillar.
context, yeah.
Yeah, when a caterpillar goes
Yeah,
in,
like a cocoon.
it's a stage. There's chrysalis, then cocoon, or is it cocoon then chrysalis?
Okay.
Chrysalis then cocoon, I think, right?
Well,
Figured it was something
in
like
a
that.
cocoon, but
at
it's
some
the
point it's
chrysalis inside.
hibernating. Long story short, it's hibernating right now.
Well, but before they even talk about the changes to that, they talked about Iron Banner first, the new 6v6. They made some tweaks to it. Match time limit is 12 minutes. Score limit's 125 points. Respawn timer is 7 seconds. All control zones start off neutral. Control zones take slightly longer to capture by default, but additional Guardians, max of 3 in a zone, increase capture speed, and Guardians participating in a capture get more super energy. So it sounds like it's a lot more like the old style of Iron Banner, basically. Like they're trying to bring back a lot of the feelings I think that we had with D1. And it sounds exciting to me. Like I'm just excited that even though it's the normal kind of zone control stuff that we're used to, they've also changed it up to make it a little different. So it's not just exactly the same. Iron Banner is going to have its own twist, aside from being 6v6, which is a big enough twist on its own. So are you guys pumped for this? I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
I'm definitely pumped.
Because that was that one of your big things, Triton, was missing 6v6? I seem to remember that.
Yeah, I think before we got the roadmap, or I think it was when we heard about the roadmap, but we hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, 6v6 for Iron Banner, maybe if they brought that back in as like a rotation and introduced that would be something that I would come back for, because it was something that I always did with my friends, and we play like, I think Sunday night, it was called like Sunday night. We would get all together and play Iron Banner when it was up, and it was just a fun time. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it come back. I'm glad to see them kind of, change some of the modes or some of the things with it to make it a little bit more distinct when it comes back. It's not just 6 people on a map, like you said. You kind of went through the list of the things they're going to add to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that this week, right? This upcoming Tuesday.
Well, not this version of it.
But
this
it's like the
week.
1.14 whenever it comes around.
Yeah,
right?
so that's going to be at the end of this month. But so yeah, it's less than a month away, all this stuff. And that is crazy to me. Like, I can't believe that it's coming up
And the next
Right?
month.
next month. Okay.
Yeah.
Today's the
Yeah.
last day of February.
I was like, golly, it's coming so soon. Yes. So
Or no,
next month.
today's March 1st,
No,
isn't
yeah,
it?
today's March.
Oh.
Less than a month away.
I was off today, and unless
We're
I'm working
26
and have to
days
date things, I don't remember what the date is.
Well, it's like with 6v6, I hope this is. I mean, right now, a lot of people are freaking out because it's on a weekly rotation. They're like, why don't we have Rumble 24/7? Which, with how the player base currently is, if they're saving it
Yeah.
until whatever fall expansion comes out before they drop them all at the same time.
Triton looks very interested in what Wendler's saying.
But what I was just saying is, like, if they start with like, all right, so we have 6v6 Iron Banner. If they make trials go back to its 3v3 style, and then you have quick play competitive that are 4s, and then you have doubles, which is 2, it'd be a lot of variety to have within
Yeah.
the playlist that could help keep Crucible fresh, more or less.
And I think what we're gonna see is, right now, quick play is kind of like the go-to thing. I think that center, whatever the weekly one, as we saw, that kind of happened in D1 whenever they made a weekly rotating playlist. The one that like Rumble would go into and everything. I feel like this is gonna be like that. Like this is going to be more like in Halo. You had big team, casual. Like that's what this is. The weekly playlist is gonna be. Kind of the more casual, unless they had 2v2 that might not be as casual. But 6v6 Iron Banner, Rumble, Mayhem, those are all.
I think Rumble can go either way, though. People take Rumble really seriously. Have you heard of this guy named MTash?
Yeah, I kind of take it seriously too. So you're right. I agree with that.
Real quick before we get off, we didn't really mention what the changes to Iron Banner were, right? I feel like we should.
So he went through the.
I go like burn
read the whole thing just a second ago, but you weren't paying attention.
Wait, really? Like,
Yeah, talk about people not interested in what's
wait,
going on.
control zones taking longer and all that stuff?
Yep, we went through that.
Yeah, because he's like, like they're taking zone control and mixing it with control.
Oh.
Yeah, we.
Oh,
we
I
did
was
that.
looking up chrysalis and pupa. That's what it was. Do you know what a pupa is? God, you're the worst.
Is
Anyway,
it another stage?
I'm done talking to you. No, I think the really interesting thing about the changes to the zones is it has nothing to do with how it's like the change itself, but I think it really kind of shows you where their head was at, where their minds were when they made the changes to the way zones were captured in 4v4.
Yeah.
Because, when they moved it to 4v4, it went to A and C were already captured, right?
Yeah.
And more players didn't make it capture faster.
Uh-huh.
So it incentivized not being on the zones as much. Do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to stop at A and C.
Yeah.
You went and fought. Well, now that there's 6 people, it's like they're giving you more things to do, more strategies, more teamwork stuff to do. You know
I see
mean?
what you mean.
So,
Yeah.
like,
To bring it back
you
to, like,
need to...
pseudo objective.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just like, it was, hey, we have less people to do... to fight and capture, so let's take away part of the capturing part. Let's have people fight.
Less things to do.
Now that there's 6 people, it's kind of like, hey, you want to have 2 or 3 start by capturing and send your other people to B or whatever to fight.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like recapturing stuff. You don't just need to have one because, because if 4v4, if you had 3 people capturing, you leave one person out there running around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just thought that was really interesting because it kind of showed you their headspace, like why they made these changes as to just, we don't want you to have to capture stuff.
You know what I thought of immediately, though? I wasn't thinking of, like, the reasoning behind any of it. I was just thinking of, yes, multiple people on zones again means easier multi-kills. Mean I can fly in with the Fist of Havoc and kill 6 people easier.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not 6, but, some of the time.
Probably won't
Well,
ever do that.
we've also talked, to Hove's point, we've also talked a little bit about the maps, and maybe they aren't going to introduce a lot of different maps. So if you think, if you have some people here and then some people are fighting and some people are capping, it won't feel as congested as, oh my gosh, there's 12 people in this like really small confined space. So maybe that also contributes to, hey, maybe we'll hit you with one map that's more designed for 6s, but we're probably going to have to put 6 people on a few of these maps too. And if we kind of make it so there's a lot of things to do, there won't be 12 people fighting in any one place potentially.
Yeah.
Everything I have concerns with regarding maps regards around this like mobility update that they keep talking about, because like I've personally felt that Burning Shrine was way too small. Like new Burning Shrine is way too tight of a map. I can get from what A and C used to be to like the area where B was in relatively fast time right now as is, and now trying to think of the mobility buff where I'll be even faster. And then if you're going to take that and add 6v6, I think that will be way too congested.
I don't know, man. I have a lot of fun on that map. Like, that's the one map that every time it comes up, I'm like, I love this map. Like,
well,
and I hated it. I didn't like it in D1 at all, and now I love it.
You didn't like Burning
in D2.
Shrine?
No, I hated it. I'm one of those
you.
people, the rarity. Like, it's like everyone's favorite. And I was like, I can never do well on this map. It just didn't. I think it didn't work well with fusion rifles as much. Like, yeah, it was fun still, but it wasn't like the level of shots that I could get with all the other maps.
The spawns on the map are good. I like the new spawns. But
really?
I just personally felt if they would have just cut the outside where the sun used to be glaring, how it is now, and then but kept the scaling, it would have balanced the outside with the inside a lot more rather than just been, oh, they're outside. I think that would have just fixed. Like I think certain maps, their scaling needs to be the size that they were in D1. Like if we get Asylum back, keep Asylum the size it was in D1. Don't shrink it because it will flow really well. Or like Widow's Court. Like I think Shores is a good map that was good to get scaled down a little bit, because everything just feels more natural lane wise. But I just think like certain maps, like I didn't feel Burning Shrine needed to be shrunk down as much as it was, because it feels like it's more of a doubles map and a 4v4 max, not the 6v6 zone control map that we love to play on, at least that I love to play on in D1. So
I gotta say, I disagree with you, man. I love it, but I can see why if you liked it in D1, you might not like this version of it as much. But I really like it.
I think here's my thoughts. We'll see. I know that we're kind of talking about adding more people to the same size maps and increasing speed, but I think we do want more action. We want people to be able to move fast. We don't want people to feel the need to stick around as much. I think if they can get the spawns correctly, which would be a lot to ask in Destiny, but I think if the spawns work out okay, I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be hectic. I think it'll be fast-paced, but I feel like we want that right now, right?
Yeah.
Especially in something that isn't, because if we're talking 6v6, it's only Iron Banner. 8 people, that's only Rumble. So these are weekly rotating things. It's not going to completely change Crucible. You'll still have regular Crucible that might be a little bit slower, even with the increase in speed. Then you'll have these weekly or monthly rotating things that are a lot faster and chaotic.
Yeah, because Lego, to mention the new spawns on Shrine, by the way, the reason I like it is because in D1, you always had a spawn that was favored immediately, whereas with them starting directly behind the wheels, it's even path to either way. So like if they end up dropping the new control 6v6 on this map, it won't be as, I guess, disadvantaged to a certain team. Like everyone just starts off like, here you go.
Oh, and quickly, I just want to clarify what I was saying. When I was saying spawns, I meant like respawns, like where you're respawning, not the A and C spawn. I was talking about like respawns.
Yeah, and I can't argue for what is to come. I can just argue for what we have now. And so you may be right, Wendler. Maybe some of these things feel not as great once we have 6v6 and we're moving faster.
Well, I
mean, we never know either, like it could be where people just move around so much and they're clashing that much more, so you could still see less of a congestion.
Yeah.
It's kind of just what ifs really at this point.
Well, do you also think though, I mean, not that this is going to slow it down at all, but if we're talking about increased, is the power ammo changes supposed to be part of that same update?
Where they increase? Yes.
Okay. So you'll have a lot more like kind of one-shot kill type of stuff going around, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of fly around a little bit more like D1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all later though. So when we initially get 6v6 though, we're all still going to be moving at the same speed.
Isn't that the same update?
No,
Isn't that March?
No, that's all the same update.
Yeah, Sandbox is March.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the Sandbox, the only thing that is moved to next month or May is the exotic tuning.
Exotic Sandbox change.
Related things. The base Crucible stuff, the weapon archetype tuning, the game mode tuning, all that is all going to be at the end of this month.
So they're all coming at the same time.
On it.
Yeah.
It's actually really exciting.
So we'll be jumping into 6v6 Iron Banner with, I mean, the Season 2 weps still, but we'll have the whole new play box essentially to play with.
Well,
y'all, I just got so excited. I didn't realize all this stuff was coming so soon. Like, I knew it was all coming, but it's all in less than a month. We're getting like a PvP overhaul, basically.
Yeah.
And speaking of gotta go fast, I put out a clip from that night I was playing with my friend and got a good clip. And somebody mentioned something. Let's see, Orion321 on Twitter mentioned, have you jumped into D1 lately? Feels so good. Such a breath of fresh air. So fast and responsive to what you want to do. I feel limited in D2. No salt, just how I feel. And I responded, I watched some clips, but haven't played it yet. The clips did make me miss movement speed over anything else. Twilight Garrison, because I missed that a ton. And Claude Jerome, the senior sandbox designer at Bungie working on Destiny 2, just put the classic Sonic GIF, "Gotta go fast" on it.
He said
And
soon, didn't he?
is it coming soon?
Coming soon.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait. Like if he's commenting on my thoughts on Twilight Garrison and how I miss going fast in D1 and says I'm gonna be going fast soon, like that gets me so excited.
I mean, it just everything that they've put forward for that, with some of the power ammo changes to being faster and everything. I mean, it sounds like exactly what we need, like exactly what we've asked for.
Yeah,
so
like
I'm excited for that.
I don't understand why people are still so adamant. I mean, if it was kind of like, I don't know if you guys watched TV's latest video at all, where he was talking about like March 27th, is PvP gonna live or whatever? Mm-hmm. And he brought up like a good point. Like you're gonna see a lot of like larger streamers come back, and they have already moved on, and their chats are gonna heckle them the whole time, like, "Oh, Destiny 2 is dead." They're probably gonna leave, and you're gonna have a growing, I guess, community. Hopefully, assuming everything goes well, obviously, of people that are committed to PvP that come back. You know, they play it day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the internet. You know, people are gonna be and try and meme. But if this has to be their hammer in day, like all they really is to like make the growth back on Twitch again. It's just got to be more fun to watch. You know, it didn't die because content. It died because it wasn't as enjoyable to watch people play.
As far as Twitch goes, as far as Twitch goes, just talking Twitch. Yeah.
So if they, with all these man changes, you know, they're talking about going fast and you have more power ammo and it's more explosive. Like, if that's more fun to watch for people, it doesn't matter if certain big streamers don't come back. You're going to see people slowly fill in over time again, leading up to whatever comes out in fall. I mean, it'll probably help if some big streamers stay, but I don't think it's going to be as impactful versus watching on Twitch, if that makes sense. Because Destiny, like, one end of the year, it was more annoying, but you could still watch it, and it still held near top 10 on Twitch for the longest time. So,
you know, you were talking about explosive. Do you know what's not good when it's explosive?
I have a few ideas.
Diarrhea.
Oh, I was gonna say diarrhea. I was like, it's diarrhea.
Are you going somewhere with that, or
no? I just you know, we were talking about explosive is going to be good, but you know,
it's just facts.
Yeah, just facts.
It's hope facts. Well, Hashtag hope facts.
Do you know what else? Do you know what else is really exciting?
I like that.
Everyone's saying, "Oh, and then we have, you know, if it doesn't come in March, we have to wait till May." But did you guys see today? Like, we're gonna have March 27th.
I did see that.
And then we have something coming really exciting on April 27th.
Yes, I'm so excited for that.
And then the update in May.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
If y'all don't know, he's talking about Avengers Infinity War, which
Listen,
so pumped.
Even though I'll get to it, even though that was totally obviously, I mean, nobody should ever even consider the fact that wasn't a planned marketing stunt. The way they went about that was so awesome.
Yes, the back and forth between
so for anybody who doesn't know or doesn't care, Marvel Studios tweeted out. I think it was just like your typical like teaser, Infinity War coming May, whatever.
Yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr. tweeted back, "Hey, any chance I could see this early?" And Marvel Studios replied and said, "Oh, for you, Mr. Stark, anything." And he said, "Can I bring friends?" And they were like, "You mean these friends?" And they tagged everybody that was in that picture with them running at Wakanda. Chadwick Boseman, Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan. And he was like, "No, I was thinking the entire world." And they were like, "Consider it done." And there was a new teaser that said, or a new picture that said, Infinity War now coming April 27th. That was the coolest way. Like, that was so awesome.
So cool, yeah. Dude, and like, how confident are you in a movie too? Because I bet the original date, that was not a marketing stunt. Like, the original date was probably set in stone. And then they're just like, well, we're done with it. You know, we finished up. And they're like, man, it's awesome. Like, it's good to go. And there's like, let's do it.
I think low key, that's a really, really good sign for the movie.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it changes anything or it's a big like revelation, but the fact that most times with movies this big, you're hearing about either getting pushed back or they're struggling to get reshoots and CGI done. The fact that they're this close and they're like, let's just move it up a week. Like that's
And even if they're not like completely like, I'm sure they're putting finishing touches on it right now,
but
and
they
everything,
know
and
it's done.
They know it's like our guy's got it in the bag.
Yeah.
You
If I'm
know?
not mistaken, there's not another Marvel movie coming out, correct? There's nothing.
No, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and
July.
Wasp, but
On my
that's later.
birthday.
Yeah,
I know
after-
someone was like,
after.
"Well, we know they survive" or something like that.
Well,
but
you know-
it could be in the past.
Spider-Man survive. I mean, there's
Well,
other
what's
movies,
weird
but-
is it's a 2-part movie, so we're gonna see part 1.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they're gonna fit that into the Ant-Man side then, or if he's just not there yet. Because you got to figure there's no way they're getting
right.
all 50 plus members right away in part 1.
What's
There's probably
interesting?
like-
I didn't think about that.
there's probably like half the staff that you'll see in like part 1, and then a few of them will stay, and then you'll see the other half of the Marvel.
No, I think
unique
the last
event.
one is going to have everybody. But my thought is they're probably going to any movies that come out. Is there another movie between the 2 Infinity Wars?
I mean, Ant-Man
Besides
and the
Ant-Man.
Wasp.
Besides
the
Ant-Man.
Wasp.
Well, Infinity War is supposed to be like a year after, like part 2.
Yeah.
It's supposed
Exactly
to be
like
a year
right?
after.
Right. But
They're
I,
probably
what's the
really
hold on,
more.
wait.
I can't remember what the
Yeah.
chart was.
I think it's just Ant-Man. So even if it's
They don't have
only
an
one-
early 19 movie.
I don't think
It's
so.
in Is Captain
Oh,
Marvel
Captain
before
Marvel.
or after?
Captain
Yeah.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah,
But that one we already know takes place in the 90s.
yeah, that's true. That
So
one's
my
in the
thought
past.
is Ant-Man and the Wasp probably is just going to be out of the timeline a little bit. Because I don't
Yeah,
know
the
if you've
only
noticed.
other one would be Deadpool 2,
Well, that's not part of this universe.
which isn't even a part of the universe at all.
Although it wouldn't surprise me if they did like eventually throw in Deadpool into
They said it was too late.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not. Well, the deal's not even done. Apparently, there's been some snags with them, not like with whoever not allowing it to pass because
Yeah, it was something
Monopolies
with
and shit.
they got Deadpool 1 in way too late because they were unsure. Because I don't know if you know this, like Deadpool 1 wasn't even gonna happen until Ryan Reynolds was like, "I'm gonna pay for this out of my own pocket."
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I did
pretty.
hear that.
I'm pretty sure the only people that knew that were all the people that lived on Earth.
No, because a lot of people didn't. They're like, "Wow, like this movie is great." It's like, it had a horrible start.
Can we just be a movie review podcast? Can we? Switch?
I would talk just superhero movies.
Yeah, just even super. I don't know enough about comic books to be a superhero movie podcast, but I would.
Spider-Man might have another movie actually.
No, because Spider-Man.
They only had like a 2-movie thing, right?
No, well, it doesn't matter. Spider-Man: Homecoming 2, just what they're calling it now, is supposed to take place immediately after Avengers 4. Like it deals with
Oh,
what happened
really?
in Avengers 4. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so we got Rumble and Mayhem coming back too. I'm gonna take us out. I'm gonna take us out of the movie stuff because I really could talk about it forever.
Can I talk about one more thing?
You can talk about one more thing, Hove.
So this
One more
is, in all seriousness, this is my background on my phone now.
Oh my gosh.
That's a picture of Lego. So what happened is Lego randomly came into Discord and was like, I was trying to make a new header for my Twitter. I don't think it turned out that well, and posted this picture. It was just a little guy, Or no, I guess it was bigger. And it was funny to me. And Marcus, who is the man, turned it into an emote, just the circle. And I use it for no matter what emotion I'm trying to convey. I make a comment and then I put this little Lego emote.
Just my face in a circle.
It is I don't know why. Every time I look at it and use it, I laugh out loud.
I'm gonna put your face in a circle and see how you feel about it.
But it's
Hove.
not it has nothing to do with it's not that you look funny, any funnier than
No,
usual.
it's just that anybody's face in a circle will look funny. You don't think? I'm going to try it now with the whole pod. That's going to be the header of the podcast
look at
Twitter
that.
soon. It's just all our faces in a circle.
That is the best. I use it for everything. So then the other night, first of all I texted it to Mana, and he was like, "What the fuck is that? Is that Lego?" And I was like, "Yeah." Just randomly. I wasn't even talking to him. And then was it just last night, Lenny, or was it 2 nights ago when I was talking to you?
It was like 2 nights ago, I think.
So I just
You're
took-
like, I have this picture that you'll laugh at, and I'm sitting there like, okay. And then as soon as he sends it, I see it, and I immediately just start dying. He's like, see, it's hilarious. I told you.
It is funny.
So Wendler's like, that kind of looks like you're looking through a peephole, like a hotel. And he was like, imagine if you just someone knocked on your door and you went up and looked through the peephole and that was what you saw. So he tweeted that out. I don't know. Maybe no one else thinks it's as funny. Maybe we can get Lego to put this picture for our YouTube listeners or iTunes listeners. Can we put this? Oh, I tweeted it. The RezoCast account tweeted it like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, what? What is happening now?
Make sure you go check this picture out because
Oh my
literally
God.
I probably use it 15 to 20 times a day in my Discord, and I laugh every time I use it. I chuckle. Like I'll be by myself and I'll just like chuckle. It's great.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize RezoCast was on this ship. Okay.
By the way, I am RezoCast. By the way,
What?
that was the other things I wanted to talk about. There was Fortnite, there was Lego's Face, there was Infinity War, and whatever the other one I talked about.
Well, I wanted to talk about Infinity War, so I'm glad you brought that up. But back to the TWAB, because we gotta. I mean, Rumble. We pretty much know Rumble, except for wait. Big change to Rumble.
Wait, I have a great idea.
What's your big idea?
Let's make a podcast and call it TWAM, and it'll be this week at Marvel.
No, I do actually kind of like that, but no.
Come on, we'll just record it immediately after this.
I do no. If you edit it, I will record all of it, but you have to edit it.
By editing it, I'm not editing anything. Everything we say will just be on the podcast.
That's fine. You can do that. You're just in charge of all that.
Unfiltered, unedited, uncensored Hove.
Yes, I'm fine with it. As long as that's all it is. It's all on you.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so Rumble, absolutely no points for assists. You get a single point when you get a kill, which was a big complaint in D1. Remember that? You'd be like playing a game. No, assists weren't it. Never mind. They're probably leaving in the same thing. We don't know yet. I was thinking of when you kill someone, you kill the leader and you get extra points, remember? And that like really screwed up some
Headshots,
people.
supers, everything give you extra points.
Yeah, so we'll see if they do any of that, but for sure, absolutely no points for assists. Just like in the golden age of video games, they say. And this time we increased the player count to 8, so that's a pretty big change. 8 from what used to be 6, I think, and so that's gonna. I'm really curious what that's gonna feel like. I have no idea, but I'm excited to try it out. Like, sounds great, sounds fun. You guys have any thoughts?
I never played a lot of Rumble, but it is nice to see that it comes back and in the playlist.
I'm excited, but not as excited as Lego.
I don't think any one of us can be. No one can be.
Wendler, were you a Rumble person at all? Did you like Rumble?
I played it towards like the end of D2 or D1. The end of Destiny 1. I started playing Rumble a lot more. I didn't play it a lot early on because I was always under the philosophy, and this isn't an offense to anyone that loves Rumble, but 1v1, a lot of people feel that is like the end all be all when it comes to being good at a game, and I severely disagree with that.
But that's no reason not to play it.
One on one is the ultimate be all, Wendler. Let me correct you.
Well, it's like a lot of people feel like if I just grind Rumble nonstop, I'm gonna be really good in a team shooter, and it's like
no. But what do people say, especially in Destiny? What does everyone say
when you're 1v1?
Win your ones.
Yeah, it's just, well, there's also a lot of people that have never played a competitive shooter before Destiny as well that say shit like that. So
I wasn't talking about. Okay, never mind. Forget it. I'm not gonna argue with you. You know everything about competitive everything.
I don't. I mean, I don't. But at the same time, it's just like I liked Rumble because Rumble to me was a way for me to warm up.
Think we should?
Agreed.
Do you think we should all get on B?
I'm a god at Rumble.
Do you think we should all get on B?
No.
Do you know what happens when we all get on B?
You know, I just got the best idea. You know the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire things where it shows somebody's face and they ask a question and it's the same answer for all four. It's like, should we get on B? And it's Wendler's face, or what should we do? And it's Wendler's face and it says, get on B, get on B, get on B.
Hey man.
And then the outcome is
happen in time.
Ram
and then
4-man.
We took 15 minutes to get on B and we got ulted. You know, we'd have been there 5 minutes sooner when it happened. Because we had it capped at like 85, and then we got ulted.
Yeah. To be fair, we have no idea what we're doing. We didn't know any idea what we're doing. Hove, muting Wendler does not mute him in the podcast. How many times
I don't have to hear him.
Yeah, I'm with you, Wendler.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a fun playlist.
It'll
be good. It'll be good with 8. It's just some people take it the next step and feel like that's like the end all be all to be super good at a game is taking a stolen kill from another guy and then winning your one. They're like, I'm the best. It's like,
I mean, let's be real. Like the end all be all for any like thing is the game type itself. Like if you're
Yeah.
good at Rumble, you're good at Rumble. That's what you're good at. If
Yeah.
you're good at fours, you're good at fours.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So in the future, they're gonna add doubles. We talked about that. They need to make changes, which I think is great. They should tune it because grenades did like, wow, you could throw a lot of grenades. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was fun, and obviously they're not gonna make it exactly like the Crimson days.
well, there was a post I made when Cosmo was taking like Crimson Doubles feedback. Because I kind of figured if you're taking feedback for Crimson Doubles, you're trying to keep some mechanics of the game mode alive. And so what I suggested was just some type of buff, like whether you call it like Brothers in Arms or whatever you want to name the buff. Whereas instead of sticking by your teammate gets you the ability, you meet up with your teammate and you get like a 10-second duration buff. And then from that point, you have increased ability charge or whatever, but you can actually split from your teammate. And then the only way to refresh that is to meet up or get a kill with your teammate next to you, and then it kind of recharges that cooldown almost. So that way you can have doubles but still have that kind of twist to it. That's not as annoying as it was with the Crimson Doubles buff, where let's just stand in the middle of B and throw grenades. It would kind of promote people to actually split and leave, and then reconnect at some point to get that buff back, and then split and leave again. However they end up getting that to work, I think
that is interesting. Like I'm curious what they will do to mainly just keep people from doing the nade thing. Because even staying at the hip, that wasn't bad to fight with. I actually really enjoyed shooting, like a fusion rifle at two people standing right next to each other. That was a lot of fun. So I thought I was gonna hate that more than I did, and it was actually really fun to just throw a pulse thing.
Yeah, it's just like I was talking to Mana about it, and I was like, when I was telling him beforehand, before he played with Gunga, I'm like, it's fun, but then you're gonna run into that one team that just stands in the spot and they just throw grenades the whole time. And I was like, you'll know when it happens. So sure enough, like he was playing with Gunga, he was having fun, and then they ran into that one team, whether it was like a striker and a Night Stalker or a double striker that was just throwing grenade, and it just takes a little tuning to kind of fix that at least. But
yeah. So last thing, I guess. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Iron Banner we do have coming next week, but before that, Nightfall scoring. They just addressed what Triton said earlier. They showed us that list of, here are the different scores, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 that you need to get to have a higher percent chance of getting one of those special emblems. You're not guaranteed it, but you have a higher percent chance of getting it to drop, I think is what they said. And so I thought, I'm with Triton. Like it is kind of like a carrot on the stick, like having goals for the Nightfall, and that makes it more fun.
Wouldn't it be cool to get strike specific loot too?
Yes, and on to what Wendler said about, I think it was Gathalion who tweeted that out, that, this is like a lot of sauce and not the meat and potatoes. And I think once we have like strike specific, like this is like a foundation, like we're getting all this really great stuff. And once we get the strike specific loot too, and then the sandbox is changing too soon, like all these things are going to come into play. We're going to be going faster. And I don't know, like I think we're going to be set up in a really good place.
I agree. I guess my thing is just it kind of depends on what kind of sauce it is, because some sauce is just delicious, like on its own.
So what is the best sauce?
Garlic aioli at the.
The garlic aioli at Groom is really good. Yeah,
that sounds good. I don't know what it is.
A good just like marinara, like spaghetti sauce, a really good one. Is up there.
Because bland ones ruin stuff, so good ones stand out.
Do you consider places that say they put ranch sauce on things? Is that kind of sauce?
If it's like, what is it, like salsa ranch on like tacos, then that is, yes, good.
What?
You never had salsa ranch before? Like creamy jalapeno from Chewy's or something like that?
From who?
Yeah, where do you think we live again?
Oh my gosh. You've never had a Chewy's before?
Like,
no?
From Star Wars?
Like a Chewy bar? Like
no. I mean, they do have a bar there. Yes, free chips and queso.
I think he meant like the candy bar.
You got
I meant like the granola bar. Chewies.
You gotta check it out sometime.
We don't have one.
Yeah, we don't. That doesn't.
You might.
exist.
You just might not know.
No, we definitely don't.
We don't.
Okay.
We
Have you
would know.
met me and Triton? We know.
Yeah, like, we
food
would
around
seriously
here.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
We would know.
I'll introduce you someday.
Bring us food from there and tacos.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
sounds
fly
good.
up here. Fly
Can
up
we
here
make like a over/under bet on like the odds Kim will get yelled at Charlie's when she asks for a well done steak? Like no, one.
I'm sure they'll just be okay with it. Like yelled at by the people there, or yelled at by.
I feel like
wait,
I feel
no,
like
no.
the
It'll just
server
be
will
disapproving
like, "Bro,
stares.
are
She
you
will
sure?"
be yelled at when she gets the ketchup with it. Isn't that what she do?
Yeah,
that?
it was.
Yeah.
She wanted well done, and she was gonna ask for ketchup, and I'm
To be
like, I
fair-
really hope they don't have ketchup there, so they just
That would be
look at it
awesome.
like,
No, but
no.
they serve like fries or like potato wedges, so they probably have ketchup.
Yeah,
but
they'll serve it to you in just this fancy platter.
I just feel like they'll be like, "Excuse me," like they'll just make sure that she knows what she said. Excuse me, what?
Like, do you know what well done means? Are you sure?
Yeah. Are you sure? You want burnt steak?
We actually don't do that here, ma'am.
Yeah, we don't serve shoe
Cut up
leather.
at medium well. Okay. Then Kim's defense, they serve it in Monster Hunter World. What is that game, ma'am?
And isn't it like I read something about like that's like the best thing to get for something is it to have it well done. It's like backwards than what it should be.
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
a
We don't know
server,
anything
that's
about.
all.
We're
Yeah, I
Destiny
don't know.
podcast.
That's gotta give Kim some slack.
I mean, Triton and I could. Ooh, that's another one. Triton, you want to start a podcast about food?
We could probably do
that
that.
I've thought about that. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Why would you guys start a
legitimately-
podcast about food? It would just be Hove arguing that Triton never invites him
No,
anywhere.
no.
to
I
go
legit-
eat.
No, because then
Legitimately-
Triton and I would have to go places.
Yes, that's true. We have gone to some places, like when we set out to like go to Groove. We've gone to Eaton Park,
Purgatory.
Purgatory, which
I don't know
forgot.
what any of these places are. Now you've
Dave
lost
and
the rest of us.
Buster's. Well, like Wendler should know because he visited the city.
Yeah,
Didn't let
he'll
us know
know.
though, but you know, he didn't let me know. But you know,
So anything else about Nightfall scoring? I don't really have anything else with the TWAB that's there. We already talked
Nope.
about a lot of it earlier.
What about the Twam?
Nothing about that. Although I did like your ideas. We have Iron Banner coming next week, though. That we have some shiny new weapons that probably feel the same as a lot of weapons that we have now, but dang, they are shiny. And that pulse reminds me so much of the
PDX 45.
PDX, yeah.
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
good?
so
Are you saying that is a good thing though?
I just got the new Gunsmith Pulse. That's like the
the
PDX.
PDX, yeah.
The only thing that I hate about it is it's not, you know, the half crosshair that everyone used.
Yeah.
It's got the circle instead of the half crosshair.
Yes, I don't like that either.
And I'm really
Oh,
hoping that
just
this.
suck it up.
Dude, crosshairs are important, okay, guy?
They are. Aesthetics are everything.
Only
What
if
do you
you're
use in
bad.
Overwatch? What do you use in Overwatch, Hove?
I have no idea.
Like, you don't use a dot or anything?
I don't
specific?
know because I don't care. I swear to God. Like
I guarantee you.
you just helped me prove my point because I thought about it and I was like, I have no idea what I use on there. None.
Well,
Toxic.
the Scathe Lock gun looks pretty awesome too because I do love that gun in PvE, and if this one is similar to that one at all, it's just gonna be a better looking
Do you-
version of it.
Do you happen to know which one I use in Fortnite? Because I
Your
don't know
crosshair?
either. I have no idea.
It's a normal crosshair in Fortnite. You can't change it, guy.
I didn't know that because I don't care. Do you know which one I use in Destiny? I
Do you
don't
not
know,
switch your
'cause-
crosshairs in Destiny.
I don't know because I don't care.
You have to switch them up every once in a while. You don't at all.
Just by perks. By
Oh, just- yeah,
by
okay.
stats.
Yeah,
Resident
okay.
Sleeper.
I generally play with my eyes closed, so it doesn't matter.
Well, actually, funnily enough, Triton was looking up just about you being bad. Like we did some research to like figure out if because we think you think you're bad. You always say like, oh, I'm just bad, and so we were like, well, is he just bad? Triton, you did some research on this, right? You're a statistics kind of guy.
I feel like I should mute him right now. I'm not gonna like what's coming.
No,
up.
this is gonna be good.
Well, actually, this is gonna work out. Like I told, like this was like a nested thing that I was like waiting on for when Hove called me out for being really bad. Not not this other method.
Oh, okay.
You just
apologies.
ruined the whole thing.
I did.
I've been waiting.
I'm stealing Triton's thunder right now.
I've been waiting on this. It's ruined now.
You shouldn't. I'm bad with secrets, Triton. I'm sorry.
It wasn't even a secret. It was common knowledge that I was waiting on this.
But Hove just said he was bad, so I need you to clarify.
No, but that wasn't the point. The point was that like Hove said I was bad, not that Hove said himself he was bad. Wow, Lego.
Well, if this will speed this up, Triton, you're bad.
No, I'm
Wow,
done.
toxic.
Okay, we'll have to save it for another
No,
day. Then.
no,
it's,
you will
it's
not
ruined.
say that.
It's
I want to
ruined
know right
Lego.
now. I want to know.
It was
right
gonna be great,
It's
Triton.
ruined.
Regardless,
I wanna know
but
right now.
we can save it for another
now.
time.
Nope, now or never.
He's not gonna say it.
You can't do it next week because I'm in charge next week. Because did you know what next week is?
Oh gosh.
Next week is episode 76, aka the Dongcast, aka what I say goes. I might not even invite you to. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. I might.
What if we end up like I host the podcast, like I start it, like up, invite everyone, and Hove just starts his own hangout.
Yeah,
and
that's
is
what.
like,
And
this is the actual podcast, and I'm not inviting you.
I'm
to
the
it.
only one who can stream it, so nobody will know the difference. No one's gonna know you're out there recording your own little fake podcast.
And then there's actually two versions of it, just the one that Hove live streamed and the one that me and Triton recorded with Mana by ourselves.
Mana will definitely come with me.
I don't know.
You know, I'm going to be honest here.
Is this RezoCast Civil War happening right now?
I'm going to be honest.
Is that what this is?
I'm going to be honest. I think
I just lost Triton as my ally.
I
was about to say, like, you may have just...
I was just going to say,
Mana
I'm pretty sure Mana would come with me. And, you know, the more I really think about it, I think Triton comes with me, too.
So I'm left alone. I really am the small circle of a face left in a
Yeah.
Left in a door peak.
door peephole.
Hey guys, you want to let me in?
Now I feel bad because it seems like I'm really trying to steal the podcast. That's not at all. I can't do this. Like, Lego is the man. I just want to put that out there. Like, I couldn't
see
do
what he
this.
says next week. He's not gonna sing this tune next week.
Oh no,
You
next
know
week
it.
it's all about me.
Next week he'll just be like, Lego, so I have an hour story to tell. When can I tell it?
No, he'll take over. I know he's gonna be like, screw that.
I mean, we're just gonna talk about what I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what that's gonna be. It could be anything.
Like, literally anything. I don't even know.
We'll be
Nobody
like,
knows.
I play Guitar Hero drums better than Lego can play the real drums.
Oh, I guarantee I'll smoke Lego and Guitar Hero. That's
What?
Yeah.
And Guitar Hero drums.
Guitar Hero.
Okay, that maybe, but I'm just saying, I was really good at rock.
You feel salty. You got a drums when you like. You
Well,
challenge
to be
him.
fair,
And
Lego's
drums?
a drummer, and I
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm not.
it's actually very like playing guitar in Guitar Hero is not similar to
But
playing
drums
guitar in real
is.
life. Playing drums on one of those games is very similar to playing drums
Yeah.
in real life.
How about real guitar? You want to play real guitar?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Ooh, that's a
Real guitar off?
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm not very good.
Neither am
but
I.
rhythm.
I used to be,
Like
but I haven't
level
played
one,
in years.
Metallica.
This is good. I'm excited for this to go down.
Cliffs of Dover. That's the first song.
What? What's the first song?
Cliffs of Dover.
Okay, it's not gonna go well.
Do you know it?
Nope,
Ah.
it's not gonna go well. Well, since it's not Hovecast 76 yet,
I'm sorry, what's it called?
Hovecast 76 yet.
Dongcast.
And
you know what I have to say about that?
We've reached the end of the twat, but there's one more thing I want to talk about.
There's a motto to Dongcast
What?
76. It's the title of the episode.
What is the motto?
Let the dong flow through you.
This is not a good motto, and no,
You know, like Star Wars, you know?
no, just no. Hove, did you get to the bottom of the twab with the movie of the weeks? Because there's one that I think you'd very much enjoy if you read it.
Mm,
You didn't win anything, just a heads up.
Well, then what am I going to say about it?
Well, then,
But the first movie of the week, the main movie of the week, not even honorable mention, is the Farm Piano cover, which is like your favorite song.
Oh, you know, I've
That's-
seen that. I've seen that, actually.
Yeah, and I was like, it's Hove's favorite song. Look at this. He's
Hey,
gonna love
there's
this.
Lego again. Hey, it's Ho's favorite song.
Hey, everybody.
That was awesome.
How are you?
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone. How are you here? Just speaking to the people.
Triton, we
Wow.
have stooped below Triton's maturity level. He
I
refuses.
think he's done.
He refuses
Triton's gonna quit
to.
the.
Triton's just watching the clip of LeBron doing a behind the back under a teammate's legs to dunk repeatedly. That's what Triton's watching right now, I bet.
I saw that live, so I was.
Triton, what is going through your head right now? You just what is? Are you like, wow, this is what this has come to?
He's doing quick maths right now.
I was sitting on that dig for a while. Like there's so many that are impromptu. There's such a natural flow to like me and Hove's back and forth. But like this one was actually one that I thought about planning a little bit, and I
took it away.
You took it away. Like you forced it. It wasn't
later.
even the right. It wasn't even the right delivery.
Right.
No, it won't.
It'll come
dead.
back.
He
later.
sounds so sad.
I know. I feel like when you told me about this, you were actually sitting on it for like 6 months beforehand and just were holding on.
It was going to be perfect. Now
well, you sound like Natalie Portman at the end of Black Swan. That was perfect. You have this. You've got it built up in your head, Triton. We gotta let it go for just a little while. It's gonna be okay.
No, it's not.
Dang it! I feel like
Triton,
I'm
you
a
want to get food with me soon?
and this is destroying me.
We should do that. There was some place I wanted to message you about the other day that I heard was really good. I'll ask a friend.
Chewy's.
No, it's not.
No.
It's definitely not that.
God.
That doesn't exist in Philly. Like we don't have Chewy's.
Oh,
in
you know what
Philly.
the best part is? Guess who else texted me today and said something about us living in Philly because he's an idiot.
Not Lego.
Not Lego.
Not Lego. So
That would be the likely assumption.
As you hear Wendler giggling away.
Yeah, it's gotta
Oh
be
my
right?
gosh.
I was just
Wendler.
thinking Philly for some reason. 'cause
There's
I was
no
watching the clip.
way that is possible. The amount of times, like every time I see Louisville and I'm like at the game and I
He
put
lives.
you in the tweet that says like, "Hey, I'm at a Pitt game watching Louisville." It says it on the pass. How is that possible?
He's also like 45 minutes from Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah.
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 Well, because I was thinking about my PC, and the main reason I could afford it is because my aunt, who lives in Philly, gave me a graduation gift.
I thought it was
Which
because
helped
you
it.
won all that money at the casino.
How does
No,
any
I
of that
won-
relate to us though?
No, the 1,300 at the
Are you
casino
his
was
aunt?
half.
Yeah, like how does that relate to
Because
us?
it all relates to the main reason why I was thinking Philly at the time and texted Hove. I said Philly.
We were in the middle of a conversation. It wasn't like you just texted me.
Yeah.
I'm just confused to what Pitt versus Louisville has to do with me texting you saying I saw Philly.
Well, I'm saying no. Why you thought we lived in Philly? Like I tweeted you and Hovey that like I was at the
Yeah,
Pitt
I
game.
knew you guys live in Pittsburgh. I was just thinking Philly, and Hove was giving me a hard time for it
Can we ban him?
because Hove.
Yes. So
I can't believe Lego just
this has been Lego Lay Flash.
Oh, wait, we're not
This
done.
has been-
We're
yes,
not
we are.
done.
We are
No,
done.
no.
No, we are done.
I have so many things I want to talk about.
Well, you can talk about them next week on your own dang podcast.
You know how.
Wow.
Listen, the more you cut me off now, you know how long next week's episode's going to be.
I know.
We're going to be on until Saturday.
Cool. Awesome. You can edit it.
You're the podcast boss.
I know. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together, Hove. We're in this together. We're co-hosts, Hove.
Oh, he's straight not.
Yeah, like I was,
Not anymore.
Wow.
Why?
I'm on
Triton's
Triton's
gonna
bad
join
side,
Meta and make
so-
their own
Oh,
podcast.
Look, you know what's
Oh,
happening?
gosh.
He's trying to
Look,
get.
I'm not naming.
He's trying to get me back because I'm taking you and Amanda. I almost called you and the other Asian.
God, what is happening? This is why I've got to end this podcast because we're gonna devolve
Lego
into
is
something
toxic.
well, we're
unacceptable.
already there. We're already
there. This has been RezoCast episode 55. 50. What am I saying? 75. Thank you for joining us.
This
I'm
has
yelling
been
at you, but
amazing.
thank you. We've had a lot of fun this episode, and made some new friends, made some new enemies. Hopefully, we'll recover next week. We'll see. I don't know. Triton's giving me that look. I might be done for life. We'll see. But yeah, this has been Lego Lay Flash. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find you?
Twitter and Twitch, mostly twitch.tv/Hove76 and Twitter. Hove76.
Like the enthusiasm.
I'm always enthusiastic, man. It's the Dongcast. All right. Triton.
Yeah, I guess you could find me at all those same places. Maybe Domcast if I'm lucky enough to get that invite next week.
You're
but
with me, Triton. Me and you were
okay.
taken.
Then I'm already invited then, so I'm good. But you can find me on Twitch on Tuesdays streaming and also on YouTube and Twitter, all under Triton Please. One word, please be in PLZ. And how about you, Wendler?
You can find me Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all at Wendler.
Nobody cares.
Messed up. Come on. Well, Wendler, thank you for joining us.
You
so
can
much
find Wendler on B. Getting Nova bombed by Ramblin'.
Yeah.
I thought for a second he might just leave. He might just like
Just
leave
drop
the
off.
podcast.
Wendler,
Yeah,
why don't you turn your
just-
cam on and show everyone you dabbing since you didn't have it on?
Okay, hold on. Give me one.
Oh yeah,
moment.
we gotta see the dab. I don't know why this is so iconic, but it
It's
feels
not
like
iconic.
it. He's got to put his clothes back on.
I know.
Yeah, I gotta put on some pants. Just give me a moment.
It's weird.
This is weird. Like I feel like
What?
what is? it's,
Oh
it's,
my god.
it's a chicken-sized Legole flash, and there's the dab. Nice, Windler out.
Thank you for covering up your face.
Well, you can find Resolutecast on Twitter at Resolutecast. Find Team Resolute at teamresolute.com, at Team Resolute on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for Blue Microphone and Headphones for sponsoring us, because it's been awesome. And
Also,
Hope.
in all seriousness, you should tune in next week, because not only is it Dongcast 76, which is obviously the main reason you should tune in, there might be a few other new things we have next week. Some things we're working on, right? Lego?
Yeah, it sounds like there are some other new things. I think next week's going to be exciting and terrible all at the same time.
Only terrible if you don't like dongs.
So, yeah. What I said. So... Until next time, guys. GG.
GG's.
GG.
Good job.